Hey retail family, how you doing today? 8 family. Welcome back for another freaking video, right? It's Friday. We made it through another week, right? So we're chilling, right? I'm over here just, drinking my coffee, just kicking back, right? Patiently waiting, right? That's all we could do right now. So yeah, today I'm gonna kind of touch on a lot of things. I'm not gonna go into too much detail for anything. We're just gonna touch on a lot of topics right here that I gotta talk about. So it has to do with AMC, right? With what happened with the guy, Bill Hwang, right? The guy who, was arrested, and then so on. And we'll cover that too. I made a video a couple of days ago, you know, going into detail in that. But I gotta, give you the latest on that. And then I got Lucid. I gotta give you some news on that, right? And kind of a bloody day for the market, right? Pretty red as far as like the stocks I'm holding and the watch list that I got going, right? But hey, what can you do? We're gonna, make sure that you guys are still focused and in it and in it to win it, right? That's all we're doing here. So thank you to the subscribers. Thanks for coming back and watching. We made it through another week, guys. But remember, this is not over. We still got a lot of potential, right? And for AMC and our squeeze, and we're talking about GameStop and a lot of catalysts coming up. Also remember, the earnings for AMC is Cinco de Mayo is what I'm seeing, right? May 5th. And then also for Lucid, May 5th is what I see right here, right? So cool, guys. Let's jump into it, all right? Got you over here. Yeah, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice, right? Take it for educational purposes. But I got you covered with the information. All right, before we go there, let's talk about AMC a little bit. I'll just kind of go through the line here, all right? Let's do it. So you had AMC, right? Another red day, was down 2% on 21 million volume. So not a lot of volume, guys. So I don't expect much to happen, all right? Until I see the heavy volume come in, then we're gonna be a little more alert, right? And seeing what's gonna happen with that. But you definitely need volume. But the good thing is that like liquidity has been drying up, right? The apes are just holding their stocks, in my opinion. AMC stock for sure, And I got the Bollinger Bands here, right? I'm trying to see if they're gonna come and get tight again, because that's what happens when you have a big push, right? It gets really tight, like how I got right here, the Bollinger Bands right here, and then you see the run up. Okay. And in my opinion, guys, this was not retail. Okay, maybe a few day traders, but I don't think that many day traders did this. And I think it was more of hedge funds. In my opinion, one possibility could have been that Melvin Capital closed out, right? We don't know. I'm trying to see and wait to see like what happens with their short position, right? If they have one, because they've been hiding it in other ways, the way they were reporting, so um, you know, just waiting to see, right? Because there's only one way for the stock to go now, is up. Okay, it's already proven, right? We always bounce off this support line. So I'm still gonna keep my bullish prediction, because I believe in the cycle. I believe in the fact that it's mimicking, and it looks very, very similar to this part right here, right? When the bands got tight and then we had to run the pattern and everything, it's pretty close to looking like identical. So let's take off the Bollinger Bands. Let's go back. Take a look at, I have some other indicators down here. And we always tend to run up after earnings, right? So last earnings, we ran up. And it usually takes like a week or two, but 9 times out of 10, we're going to have a run after earnings, right? The RSI is pretty low. That means that it's oversold right now, so we have the potential to start moving back up. It'd be worse if it was up here, right, and then coming down. So that's why I'm actually more bullish. And I've actually been getting it pretty right. I said in a couple videos ago, right, that I was expecting it to come back down to the $16 range. And it did, because short term, I can see the pressure, the shorts or whatever. But these indicators too, right, the MACD is going to start to cross over. This is the daily chart. And then the OBV has just been, on balance volume has been telling me a lot the whole time, to where there's money coming in, right? Coming in. That means, from my perspective, that people are holding the shares, and it's just fake shares, ladder attacks and things like that are bringing the price down, okay? And the manipulation and so on, okay? So yeah, that's what I got on the chart, guys. I think I covered everything there. I just think this is going to be a cup and handle pretty much. And then we'll see what happens once we get back to this trading range, right? Because the volume has to continue. GME is same, right? It's kind of down. This is the daily chart. The one thing that I don't like about this is that the blue line, right, the CMA, it went under and it crossed under, and like that hasn't happened. It's been on top for a while because that means that it's more bullish, right? So you can see over here it's been, when it had that run, it's been above, 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 and it's not the end of the world, right? But I'm looking for it to cross back over, right? And if GameStop runs, then AMC runs. If AMC runs, then GameStop runs, right? I mean, we have the catalyst coming up on June 2nd, I believe, right? It's when the vote will happen for GME to see if they want to, pay the dividend with the shares. So yeah, this is the SPY. Not looking too good. I always have these supports, right? And right at the end of the day, it broke this support and went down, okay? Yeah, if you played puts on this, right, that's how you would make money, profits, like by betting that the price would go down, not telling you what to do, do your own research on options and whatnot, but that's how it works. And you, when the price goes down, your profit goes up. So, and that's what tends to happen on Fridays, right? I've noticed that a lot of Fridays are red, right? It's just how it is, especially with what's going on right now, everything. But let's go to the daily and see just kind of what's been going on. And it lost support, broke, right? Lost support, broke. Had a little bit of a rally, but ever since then, it's just been coming down. And then you have the EMA crossover too, right? So I could expect to see more downside, guys, the short term. This is the overall market. I would have to draw the next line that would support it around here. So around 390 to 400, right? Would be the next support where you could see this coming down, right? So today's Friday, though. We're going to have to wait till Monday, right, to see what happens with that. Let's move on. So according to this, there's only 550,000 shares left to borrow, but we all know, they got the share printer. They go brrr. So 5,700. That's it. The only thing I wanted to touch on this was that a lot of people lost money on this, right? The calls this week. I saw this thing that said like no options may, right? Like don't play AMC options. The AMC community put it out there. If you want to play them, but it would be interesting to see what happens if we would, instead of putting your money here and losing it all the time, over the past few months, if you would have just been accumulating shares, in my opinion, that would have been a better strategy, right? But you gotta do what you gotta do with your money. All right, we're gonna spend just a little bit of time going over this part. So this article, remember, this guy, the hedge fund guy, he got arrested, right? And now he got released on bail after he was arrested for fraud and racketeering charges, right? So allegedly, right, nothing's proven yet. He does have to go to court again, but let's see. So Archegos Capital Management founder Bill on Wednesday was released on bail after pleading not guilty to U.S. criminal charges over the meltdown of his New York private investment firm, which left global banks with $10 billion in losses. Archegos, which had $36 billion in assets, collapsed last year when it was caught short on highly leveraged trades, right? So imagine what I want to say here is like, imagine all the other stuff that has gone on, like the manipulation, the swaps, whatever they've done to keep the prices of AMC down and GME down, right? When we were just buying it. We don't know all that stuff, right? So imagine all the stuff that we don't know, right? This is just an example of one thing that happened the past year, right? So we already went over all that. But I do want to point out that, so he pleaded not guilty, right? And that's, of course, his lawyers doing a lot of work for him. And he was arrested on Wednesday morning along with Archegos chief financial officer Patrick Hwang. Pleaded not guilty to 11 counts, including racketeering, market manipulation, and fraud in Manhattan federal court on Wednesday afternoon. He pleaded not guilty to 3 charges, right? So it's all alleged right now. And his lawyer said there is absolutely no factual or legal basis. He is entirely innocent of any wrongdoing. There's no evidence whatsoever that he committed any kind of crime, he said. He had previously cooperated with the government. All right, so he was released on a $100 million bond secured by 2 properties and $5 million cash bail. He's also restricted to travel, and he has to stay in the New York area, and he must attest to court that he lost his passport. I do believe he has another court date. Let's see, where is it? So it's talking about how he leveraged Hwang's leverage reached as high as 1,000, authorities said, right? So they're looking over all the information, and it's like, well, why was he allowed to borrow that much in the first place, right? That's what I'm saying. Like the banks that were involved in this, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse. I mean, they were, they're gonna have to look into them too, right? So they cannot comment on specific interactions. The bank cooperates with law enforcement and our regulators. If proven, each charge carries a maximum prison sentence of 20 years through any sentence would be imposed by a judge based on a range of factors. Hwang and Halligan make their next court appearance on May 19th. All right, so that's important to know. Their next court date is on May 19th. And then, so they also brought charges against the head trader William and Chief Risk Officer Scott Becker for their alleged roles in the scheme. Attorneys for Becker and Tomita not immediately respond for requests on comment. But what's interesting is the pair pleaded guilty and are cooperating with prosecutors. So they took the hit, right? They pled guilty, and the other two pled not guilty, right? So just wanted to give you an update on what's going on there. Like I said, the earnings report, I believe, is on May 5th, right? And then I got this AMC Theaters notice of the annual meeting on June 16, 2022. Not that this is going to happen, but imagine if all the shareholders went to the meeting, right, in person. That would be crazy. Yeah. Okay, next week we get the failed to deliver information, which is coming up soon, right? So they had 1.3 million, right, around here, I believe, fails to deliver. So we're going to get the new information because it's always 2 weeks, behind. And one thing I'm going to point out here, the short interest, the shares on loan, right? So as of the 14th, there was 99 million. And I'm going to go back here to 2021, right before the run up in June, right? So there was 94 million and then 102 million, right? So there were still those shares on loan, right? So that hasn't changed, guys, in a year, right? Cool. So let's go over Lucid real quick. Had a bad day, really followed the SPY. I mean, this can't lie right here. It's just looking red, red, red. We're gonna have to see what they have to say in earnings, okay? Because there was some good news that pumped it from here to here, right? We can just go to, I'll tell you the news right now that came out, kind of update you on that. But yeah, Lucid is just still in a downtrend. I had said that it was going to come down and test this. Looks like it got a little bounce, but it might struggle here for a bit before reversing. Depends on the market, depends on the EVs, and it depends on a lot right now, right? There's a lot going on in the market. And that's what I got on the chart. I mean, like saying, like, I want to see a reversal start to make its way, and then it would have to come test these levels, all right? But if it breaks that, I mean, it'd probably go down to like 15 or 14, right? I took this from back here, but it tends to reverse here at these levels, right? And then real quick, just so you know what's going on, Lucid announces deal with the Saudi Arabian government. The government will buy 100,000 Lucid EVs over a 10-year period. The deal makes one of the largest ever purchase commitments to electric vehicles. All right, so that was the news that pumped it a few days ago when it had a run. Let's go back to the 5-minute. Yeah, so it actually came out after hours, and you saw the big push right there, right? Yeah, so if you played, I saw this play a couple days ago. I didn't play it, but if you did, congrats. Looks like it's still running after hours, 6:19, right? So this was in one day. This is a 10-minute chart, 5-minute chart right here. You can see that it was at 317 in the pre-market, had a run up in the pre-market, jumped up to 486, came back down, and then rallied again all the way back. Now it's at 620. All right, so congrats if you played this. It was a good money play, right? It went up, looks like 70% for the day, right? And that was a bit of squeeze, right? Like that was a bit of shorts covering. And I'm just going to show you real quick this tool, just to kind of show you like how this works. So it's a Fibonacci extension. You take the bottom, the top, and then the drop, right? You go back, and it's going to give you a range of where it could go. So I would expect it to have heavy resistance here at 663. If you're playing it, it can go higher, but the max this is saying is about 1060. All right. And the reason it can run like that, like so fast, is because it doesn't have options. All right. So it was just basically buying pressure today, just pushing this up. All right. kind of mad I didn't get in because I knew about it. I saw it a couple days ago, right? But hey, you win some, you lose some, and I missed this one, right? I didn't even play it. So, yeah, guys, that's all I got. Just wanted to update you on the current information, all right? Of course, I hope you enjoy your weekend, relax, right? This is not over. You know, we're just chilling, waiting for all this to happen, like always, all right? And the data says that it will happen. In my opinion, that's what I believe. So I'm holding with y'all. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Later.